Ahead of his inauguration as Nigeria's president on May 29th, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, the president-elect, has relocated to the Defense House in the Federal Capital Territory. It is expected that he and the Vice President-elect, Kashim Shettima, will temporarily reside in the Defense House until they are sworn in, after which they will move into the presidential villa. The Defense House is the official residence designated for Nigeria's president-elect since country's return to democracy in 1999. Tinubu arrived in Nigeria on Monday and was warmly received by hundreds of his supporters and well-wishers across the country in anticipation of the May 29 handover. Also following the relocation of the president-elect and his vice to the Defense House, the vicinity has begun to receive high-profile visits ahead of the presidential handover on May 29. Recently, some top guns in the race for the Senate presidency in the 10th Assembly, such as Senator Godswill Akpabio, Senator Jibril Barrow, visited the president-elect, including Senator Oji Uzor-Kalu. Others seen were the Ekiti State Governor, Abiodun Oyebanji, APC National Chairman, Abdullahi Adamu, among others. In a similar vein, the Inter-Party Advisory Council, IPAC, has urged the All Progressive Congress to consider zoning the Senate presidency of the 10th National Assembly to either the Southeast or the South-South regions. Yaba Gisani, the national chairman of IPAC, conveyed this message while reading out a communique that resulted from the Council's General Assembly meeting held in Abuja on Thursday. IPAC says the purpose of the request is to ensure compliance with the constitutional requirement of federal character and promote ethnic and religious diversity. Hello viewers and welcome to Daily Politics. I am Hamza Idris. Tonight on the program, we are joined by the National Chairman of the Inter-Party Advisory Council, Engineer Yaba Gisani, to discuss these issues and more, including the suspension of the planned subsidy removal, because Yaba Gisani is actually an engineer with vested interest in oil and gas. Welcome to the program.
Thank you very much for having me.
We're happy having you. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you.
We'll go on a quick break, and when we return, the conversation commences. Don't go away. Welcome back. Engineer, the Defense House is now a mecca of sorts. Is it expected to be so?
Well, you know, democracy is about the people, and as soon as you have the president of the country, elected and given all the legal requirement as far as the laws are, haven't been given the certificate of return by INEC, without prejudice to the tribunal, cases at tribunal and things like that. Of course, it should be accorded all the respects.
The paraphernalia.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And of that office, and that's why it's not anything unusual, for him to be given that house, and also for visitors to begin to visit the place, for one thing or the other. And like as you can see, I saw, on the clip you just showed, of course, the first callers are those who are looking for his support.
His endorsement.
Yes, exactly.
He's so powerful. Is he more powerful than the president now? I mean, the outgoing president.
Yeah, of course. I mean, once the elections are held and a winner has been declared, the president is just waiting
Oh my God.
To just hand over.
And people will start to shift loyalty of sorts and all that.
Certainly, because it is the office, not the person actually.
Yeah, it's not the person. Any other person. It could be any other person. You, and that is what I wanted to ask, because you contested on the Action Democratic
Party. Yes, we did.
Its presidential candidate.
Yes.
But it's curious when some of the candidates, they have all gone to court, but you didn't go to court. Why is it that you didn't go to court? You are satisfied with the outcome of the election?
Yes, democracy, like it's something that it's all encompassing. We are talking about governance, all encompassing in the sense that elections are a fact of life, in democracy.
Yeah.
And somebody must win or lose, isn't it?
Yes.
So, but I'm not in any way indicting or finding fault with those who went to the tribunal.
Okay.
Because what it does is that it reinforces, the structures of the governance.
So even going to court strengthens the system.
It does. It does strengthen the system.
It does not distract?
It gives you, not at all, because don't forget that the Electoral Act 2022 is the first outing. This maiden outing of that.
Test its validity and potency.
Exactly. So it's important to test the provisions of that act, in the court of law, so that we'll become more informed. We'll definitely, anything done by human beings definitely will suffer some mistakes, what you call teething problems. So when you go to court, it now focuses attention on those areas that people are not happy, with, and you'll be able to better strengthen the system by correcting those, mistakes, or deliberately, or by genuine human failure. It gives opportunity to look at it not only from the political point of view, but also from the legal point of view, and it affords researchers and students of history to have something that they can always make reference to.
All right.
With authority that yes, this is what happened and this is what the court says on this matter. So those who went to court, believe you me, I dove my heart for them, and I encourage, because it's also recognized by the process in any case, that if you are not happy with the outcome, go to court, and the court is there to listen to you, because by listening to you, we gain more in terms of knowledge, in terms of how to do it better next time around.
Yeah. You being the IPAC chairman, Inter-Party Advisory Council, and you have almost all these parties. IPAC is the umbrella, but the fact that you, who is also a presidential candidate, did not go, IPAC did not in any way say, okay, let's coalesce into a force again and confront APC. Some believe that you have punctured whatever effort Atiku, Obi, and few others that they will make at the court.
No, not at all. Not at all. The court is there to look at what has been presented, isn't it?
Yeah.
Not minding whether somebody else has not gone to court, or whether it does not really matter, what IPAC does or does not do. The court's supposed to look at the merit of what is presented by these compatriots, because they are people that are passionate about the development of this country. They want to see that this country develops, at such a rate that will surpass even those that today we started with, but are now, described as developed economies. So that's why, Atiku, Obi, and others who went to court, they didn't go to court because...
Including the lady, the sole presidential candidate, who got 25,000 or something around that.
Yeah, so that's the beauty of democracy. So the fact that IPAC did not... And we did make an intervention, if you remember, at the Collation Center. We came out and said that the process must go on, because we cannot afford to have a kind of truncated,
Were you thinking that when Dino Malai, who is now gubernatorial candidate of PDP in Kogi State, when he made case for the process of collation at the International Conference Center to stop. Were you thinking that if they agree with him, it will truncate the process and it will affect transition?
No, because it will be a roller coaster. Where we land with anyone's guess at that point in time. Because don't forget that there are people that, it's not everybody that likes this democracy to even
thrive.
Yeah, in Nigeria, both within and outside Nigeria. So we have to be very careful. We have to nurture it. We have to guard it. We have to protect it. This hard-earned democracy deserves, all the protection we can give to it.
So in IPAC,
so this is why at that point in time, the unknown is what we're afraid of, and the unknown could be anything.
Yes.
So we believe that allowing the process to go on does not in any way, take away your rights.
Okay.
To seek redress, to be heard, and at that point in time, the results being delivered, it's something. It's part of the process. In any case, that's what INEC is supposed to do.
Yeah.
It's another thing if they are not doing it in the proper way.
Yeah.
As per the guidelines.
Yeah.
You have a chance
or
to come back.
Or they violated
their own guidelines.
Entirety.
Yes, exactly, entirety. Yeah. Well, it doesn't mean that they should stop. Because the process does not say they should stop. And that's why it says at the end of the process, approach the court.
Right.
It's a legitimate process.
Right.
It's legitimate action that they have taken.
Right.
And in fact, it's because they believe in this country. That's why they went to court.
Yeah.
So that what happened will not have a repeat. In the future elections.
Yeah.
And depending on how the court looks at it.
As IPAC, you are ready to listen to the court.
Certainly.
And whatever comes out, you respect it.
Yeah, as Democrats, and as lovers of this country, as far as democracy is concerned, we are ready to accept whatever the verdict of the court is, because we believe that they are also Nigerians.
Yeah.
And definitely, those who are in judiciary are people that I believe will want democracy to succeed, because they are also beneficiary of a successful democracy.
Okay, you met as IPAC and you issued a statement advising the powers that be. This includes the National Working Committee of the ruling party, the president-elect, and all others, to ensure that Senate President comes from either South-South or Southeast. What informed this decision?
Well, zoning has become a very strong element in our democratic development. And this is because of our make. The fact that Nigeria, if you like, you can call it collection of nations, where people with diverse, background, ethnicity, religion, region, all these have become factors.
So many issues, yeah.
Yes, factors. And if you look at from the primaries until now, it has been factored into how, some of these candidates emerged. It's not that one is in any way promoting, those primordial sentiments and things like that. No, but the reality of the situation is that we're already there. You mentioned APC. APC deliberately zoned the presidency to the southwest, isn't it? Yeah. And since nobody could stop it, it has happened, It's a reality that we have to live with for now.
But even that one, Engineer, I don't want to cut you, but there are some people who believe that the zoning of the ticket by the ruling party APC to the southwest is actually the work of the APC governors, not necessarily the entirety of the party. It's just that they use the instrument at their disposal to ensure that the ticket moved to southwest. And some people have started even accusing these governors of doing that as a self-centered initiative, not actually for national interest.
Yeah, whatever is the reason for doing it, you understand the fact that governors are very strong, players in our politics.
Yes.
Not only in APC, in all the parties. Yes. Once is a governor, they're
the governor is governor.
Yeah. They're like emperors.
When you have them together, they appear to be more powerful than the president.
They are.
In some cases.
They are more powerful than the president, and this has been shown. Even what happened in the primaries and the emergence of where we are today.
Yes.
So that's maybe a conversation for another day.
Yes.
But I think what we are looking at today is that if zoning is a reality, and it is, because the president you have today emerged as a result of zoning, isn't it?
Yeah.
So
it's a product of zoning.
Product of zoning, exactly. So you have
vice president.
Asuwaju, Bola from Southwest. You have the vice president, Alad Kashim, from the northeast.
Yes.
And so, if you look at what has worked for us, take a look at Obasanjo's administration.
Yes.
Where we had a similar scenario. Obasanjo from the southwest, Atiku from the northeast. And what did they do?
It's the same scenario.
Exactly the same scenario.
Only that one was Muslim Christian.
Yeah, but again, that's more reason. That's more reason why in this particular case, you needed to ensure that the aspect of the religion that you have mentioned is adequately taken care of, so that we do not appear to, dance to the ploy of those who are thinking that we want to Islamize,
the so-called Islamization
of the country.
Yeah.
Because what you will end up with, if we make the mistake of zoning the presidency to the north, is that, and in fact, a region from the north, what you are going to have is that your number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4, and even most likely number 5 citizens of this country will all be from the same faith.
So you are referring to the president,
the vice president,
Senate president,
the Senate president,
speaker,
the speaker,
deputy speaker, chief justice,
all of them will be the same faith, because the chief justice today, like is a Muslim.
It's a Muslim,
isn't it? So that's why we're saying take a look at what happened in Obasanjo's situation, and here is even more,
complicated of sorts.
Yes. So it's more desirable that you, as a matter of national interest, to ensure that we have peace, to ensure that we have unity, advanced, promoting unity of the country, so that people don't feel alienated, from the system, that what has happened does not in any way take our feelings into consideration, which is the other faith. So that's why IPAC, in our wisdom, we said, well, the best thing that we think we should do for this country, not that we'll have anything to do with somebody from the southwest or southeast, no, but
are you saying you don't have a preferred candidate?
At all. We don't have any preferred.
It should be any other person.
Any other person. What we have, our preferred candidates is what makes this democracy stronger and keep this country as one, indivisibly, united country. So that's what we have as our candidate. That's what we want to achieve.
What are some of the political parties that participated in agreeing to this call?
Yes.
To this clarion call, right?
Yeah.
For the Senate presidency to go to the south, south or south.
It's all about Nigeria. Everybody. You
mean all the parties under IPAC, they also agree to this?
No, any reasonable person, even if you are not deeply involved in the politics itself, will agree. Because for fairness, for equity, for the peace of this country, for us to have that sense of belonging, everybody to feel that, yes, we belong and we matter in the scheme of things, you need to really allow, other zones, in this case now, to have sense of belonging, that they are also given equal opportunity, to preside over the affairs of this country. And that's why we are saying, we're not saying you should take it to southeast, or we say either south or southeast should produce.
Because southwest is out of the equation.
Out, of course, definitely. And we are saying that northwest, if you like, you can take your speaker to the northwest, as we had even during Obasanjo administration. When Salisu Buhari and then now Galina Abba, you had them, as that. And then you can now take maybe deputy speaker to either, if you have taken your presidency from your Senate president from the south or southeast, then you take deputy, speaker to either the south or southeast. So we feel that will give us a balanced, arrangement, and it will it will give us that kind of united, country that we want to have.
We did a story in the Daily Trust today, and we spoke to high-profile sources who said, beyond the issue of saying let's zone this to this place, democracy is all about numbers.
That's right.
Now, what has South-South brought to the table? What has Southeast brought to the table to warrant getting the number 3 person in Nigeria? What do you have to say on this?
What they brought is that they are members of this country, and then we want unity, isn't it?
Yeah.
And democracy, like you said, is, yes, majority can have its way, but the minority should be heard too. And what we are saying, even if you think they are minority, let them be heard. Let them have a voice. Let them have a voice, so that you will have democracy in its full, essence, and everybody will feel that you belong, which is very important. So it's not a case, we have finished the election a long time ago, isn't it?
Yeah.
We are talking about building Nigeria now.
Yeah.
It's not about elections anymore. And whether or not they cast their vote for the president, that has won,
not,
that is immaterial. What is important now is, how do we have a united country? How do we carry everybody along? Because the fact is that you must have if you like, a kind of teleguided, I don't know which other word to use, democracy.
Yeah.
So that you will achieve those things that may not have been taken into consideration when even democracy itself was contemplated, was contemplated.
Mm-hmm.
Because like what I'm saying now, the fact of the matter is that you can say, oh, all the votes came from one side, isn't it, of the country? We take all our people from. But you cannot because you want to build a nation.
Yeah.
And this nation is what makes up the nation is the different segments that
accommodation.
Yes, exactly. That's what makes the whole, isn't it?
Yeah.
As Nigeria. So.
But how will you now convince Northwest, for instance, that gave, because some people believe that the Northwest gave Tinubu presidency, and when you put the North in general, it gave him around 63%. So without that 63%, Tinubu wouldn't have been the president. So should another zone, I'm speaking what people told us and we reported in the paper and even our television.
No, they're right.
Yes, that you didn't do anything. And then suddenly, because by the time you have the president from Southwest, you have the Senate president from Southeast or South-South, you only have maybe the speaker and then the vice president. So putting together the contribution, the sacrifice and all that the North made, that the people will not forgive those who agree to this consensus arrangement. Do you think they are right to have made this case, but they should convince their people that it is in the interest of national unity?
Well, of course, they need to convince their people it's about national unity, because the government is not just about speaker and Senate president and what have you. There are so many
thousands of offices,
so many positions that are there, and then development. If you can have a system that delivers rather, everybody will have a feel of
a sense of belonging.
Exactly, and then you will get what is called dividends of democracy. Delivered to the people. It's not so much about the common man, if I can use the word, that somebody from the Northwest will become the Senate president. That automatically translates to changing the fortune of the man who is selling rake, who is the shoe shiner, or the man who is in the farm or something.
It's far beyond that.
It's far beyond that, But nobody is saying that it's not important to reward, hard work. Yes, you can. But here, you have to look at it beyond that, that what we are talking about is how do we have a government that will function.
Without everybody money.
Everybody will carry it along.
Yeah.
Because if you have they said the chain is as strong as its weakest point, isn't it? So if you allow a weak one of the segment, that is zones, to feel alienated, then you will have a big problem. Having a government that is would deliver, for the people. So the point is that today it is the South or South East that we are saying they didn't vote as much, for the president. But tomorrow, maybe, and even take the outgoing administration too. The Northwest has been given what I think they should be
given more.
Yeah, but they have more.
Yeah. Despite the fact that they didn't give.
President Buhari was from the Northwest, isn't it?
Yeah.
So that tells you that it's not about your person. It's about who really can perform. Because if you ask an average man, an average person from the Northwest, what does he think about the government? I mean, he will tell you that really his lot is worse than what it used to be.
Exactly.
In terms of poverty, in terms of insecurity.
Despite the fact that they produce the president.
They present the president, So that does not translate, to good governance or good life for the people of that zone. So what I think will translate is if you have a government that can really function and then fulfill that the dividends of democracy that will impact positively on the people. And it doesn't have to be somebody from your zone. You had a president.
From your house, someone from your house. Finally
look at
albatross.
Look at what is happening in Katsina, for instance.
The home state of the president.
Of the president. So it doesn't have to.
Off compared to 2019.
They have almost become epicenter of the banditry and the attacks and things like that. So that does not translate. So people should not
be fixated.
Exactly, about who gets it or who does not get it.
Okay,
let's look at how do we build this nation.
All right.
How do we have a stronger nation?
And
a government that everybody feels part and parcel of. You don't feel alienated because I'm from this zone, because I didn't vote for this. Elections are gone forever. Long time ago. We have finished elections. We are now about governance. How do we govern and govern effectively?
All right. Yeah. We heard that Tinubu is actually insisting, just like IPAC, that it should go to the south. I mean, south, precisely. This is what, they said it should go to the south. Of course, you can see he has ruled out southwest. So it's like Tinubu is on the same page with you. Can we now say that it's actually a cheerful giver for being on this part of the calculation, even though there is serious resistance, especially from the north, as I said earlier? Yeah,
but it doesn't have to be Tinubu. Anybody, believe me, will look for. That's why I brought the example of President Obasanjo.
Yes.
Who did exactly the same thing. And if you care to check the votes that Obasanjo got from the Northwest, it's probably more than what he got even from the Yoruba.
It was indeed.
It was.
Yeah, he was actually disowned by his people.
Exactly, by his own people.
Yeah.
But again, they didn't say because of that, that he would not be the president, isn't it?
Yeah.
Or they didn't say because of that they will not take the Senate president to the Southeast, even though even the Southeast did not vote as much for him. So I'm saying that elections are one thing, which are important, really. Numbers matter in elections, isn't it?
Yeah.
But after the election, the next thing you think about is how do we govern? It's about governance.
Yeah.
And to have governance, you must have unity. People must feel sense of belonging.
All the components must
be
on the same page.
On the same page.
There must be synergy.
Yes.
And
in fact,
no one should feel betrayed.
In fact, my worries are not, or my concern is not even in the selection of these principal officers. It's what President Tinubu will do when he comes to appointing key officers of those that are going to, that he will delegate his responsibilities to as ministers, advisors,
heads of agencies,
kitchen cabinets and things like that. How does he really reflect, the character of this country, to show that,
You don't want him to be like what Buhari did? Or?
No, exactly, that's what I'm saying. Because what Buhari did actually has put us in this quagmire in terms of, because when people look at both the economic and security aspect of the country, they don't see reasons why they should apply themselves beyond the normal official, calling. Perhaps, I'm not saying that is the reason. Maybe some sections of the country do not feel that they belong.
Yeah.
And unfortunately for you, you have to work with them. So there could be some kind of sabotage, in just working to rule.
Without them, because they feel alienated.
Exactly.
And there is a provision in the constitution that says that you must maybe have a minister from each state of the
So they'll just work to the rule. They work to the rule. They won't work beyond, what is required of them to keep their job. And that cannot make a government to succeed, as we have seen.
In Buhari era.
Yes. So that's why we are hoping that Tinubu, being a Democrat,
he should depart from
that. We should see it, yes, and then make the whole country be his constituency. Everybody to be that, his
All right. Thank you. Yes, we'll go on a break.
Yeah.
Viewers, please don't go away. We'll be back shortly after this break. Welcome back. If you are just joining, this is Daily Politics on Trust TV. Do well to follow the conversation across our social platforms on Facebook, Instagram, and follow us live on YouTube. We still have Engineer Yabagisani. He's the National Chairman, Action Democratic Party.
That's right.
Apart from that, he's an energy and crude oil expert. I've seen, you worked with the NNPC in the 1980s.
Yeah.
Now I'm moving to the National Economic Council. They met today and agreed that petrol subsidy should be removed. Yeah, they said after a meeting during the valedictory session at the Presidential Villa Abuja, where they eulogized the outgoing Vice President Yemi Osibajo in addition to President Buhari. Osibajo chaired the National Economic Council meeting for 8 years, where far-reaching resolutions were taken to improve governance both at the state and federal level. Briefing State House correspondents of how the valedictory session went, Bauchi State Governor Bala Mohammed said members of the NEC were full of praises for the outgoing VP, especially the way and manner he steered the affairs of the NEC. He said they sang collectively for him and wished him success in his future endeavors. But still on that, the finance minister, engineer, that is Zainab, she said they have agreed, that council agreed that the timing of the removal of fuel subsidy should not be now, but that we should continue with all the preparatory works that need to be done, and that this preparatory has to be done in consultation with the states and key stakeholders, including representatives of the incoming administration. Back and forth. What is really the problem with this government in respect to this subsidy?
Well, what is there is
you are now not talking as a politician, but as a crude oil and gas.
I understand.
Yes.
Yeah. You see, first of all, you have to understand the fact that oil is a political commodity. Whether it's at the international level or the national level, it's a political commodity. That is why whenever there is war or some disagreement, it affects the price of crude oil itself.
Okay.
So it's not like any other commodity. And that's why when a country like Nigeria, who has been so poorly organized in terms of the management of the resources, anytime you talk about the issue of fuel subsidy, a lot of things come to the fore. One, you see, anytime you have an administrative price for anything at all, people take advantage, because the economic price is something that is a reality, and you're trying to run away from the reality. Yeah, because the reality of the situation is the the simple demand and supply issue, which which rules the pricing of a commodity. So if that commodity is not available, the price goes up because when the demand is there and it's not available. So and the oil in an economy like Nigeria, definitely there's always the demand for supply of energy. And when it is not there, when there's no supply, then you have a problem with the price. And when government now intervenes by way of introducing what we call subsidy, then there are people that understand the fact that this is just something that you are trying to do to run away from the reality of the situation. That's why they talk about the
So all these years, since the days of Obasanjo, Jonathan, and all that, we've been running away
from the reality. Yes, of the situation.
Why? Because we thought that Buhari will demystify this monster.
Yeah, well, Buhari would demystify the monster or any other president if you work with the reality and find a way of introducing what you call dampers.
Dampers?
Yes, dampers that will now reduce, the adverse effects of that economic decision, because you are taking an economic decision, not a political decision. Because you have to take economic decision to deal with a political commodity.
Okay.
So there's always that gap, which government is always, struggling with. How do we ensure that we respond to the economic demands, because the economy does not understand this your
political expedience.
Exactly.
Doesn't care.
So you are faced with the economic situation. The economic situation is that you need money to develop other sectors of the economy, isn't it?
Yes.
That's why the trillions of naira that we are pumping into funding corruption, because like I said, whenever you try to run away from reality, people take advantage, and that's why what we call corruption. The officials that you even put to manage the situation, they take advantage too. And the marketers take advantage. The consumer is always the man that is at the worst end of the short end of the stick.
Yeah.
That's what, So that's why in some clients, what you do is see how do you deliver, subsidy to the motorist in this particular case, directly himself, not through the middleman. Because what we are doing is that you are trying to deliver subsidy to the motorist through the middleman.
And the middlemen
take advantage.
Of
exactly. Because that's why you find some middlemen coming with a whole vessel empty, and they will now submit bill of lading for billions of naira or dollars, and they'll be paid. And they deliver nothing, because they know that the officials who are there are also part of the scam.
Yeah.
Then that's what you are having. That's why the ballooning of this subsidy bill that will be given, it's not the reality.
So finally on this, before we let you go, Engineer, is it a right decision taken now? And in 1 minute, how should Tinubu approach this subsidy thing when he finally takes over?
Well, I think the way to approach it is, one, address the issue of refineries.
Okay.
Let us get the refineries working.
All right.
Address the issue of metering. Because when you import these products and there's no way to ascertain what quantity is coming in, you have a problem there.
Just the way we don't know what quantity is being taken out.
It's been taken out, and the same way we don't know. The same way we don't know the quantity that is being brought in. Because I can tell you, and let's go and check if you want. In NNPC, they don't have working meters in most of the strategic locations where you should be able to have
as we speak.
Especially in the refineries, in the depots, and what have you, the meters there are not working. So if you have such a porous situation where you have leakages all over the place, financial leakages, and you now want to again add subsidy, regime in such a porous environment like you have in the oil and gas sector, and you bring another system that is porous by nature, because we are running away from reality, like I always say. So what Tinubu should do is to face the reality of getting our refineries working. It's not rocket science at all.
And to get we'll bring you back to this context.
Yes, and to get them working is very easy. There are people that have money, they want to invest, but they don't want to invest in a situation where everybody in the system is a thief. That's what we have seen, in our environment today. Maybe, and I'm sure it's about leadership. That's why I always say, I'm sure when Tinubu comes, give me his experience in the business world, given his experience in running big corporations, given his experience in politics, in democracy, I think I'm expecting that this economy will have a turnaround, for the better in a very short time.
Thank you very much, Engineer Yabagisani, Chairman Action Democratic Party, Chairman Interparty Advisory Council, and an energy expert. Thank you for your informed perspective.
Thank you.
And we thank you for joining us in the program.
Thank you very much.
Yes, viewers, we'll go on another short break and we'll be back soon. Thank you. Welcome back to other issues now. Following the evacuation efforts in Sudan by the federal government, the government says the evacuees are expected to start arriving in Nigeria as from Friday, as tomorrow. However, we'll spend the remaining time we have interfacing with Salisu Magaji. His son is one of the students currently stranded in war in Sudan, and he joins us from Gombe via telephone to bring us up to speed with the situation. Good evening, Alaji Magaji.
Good evening, Mala Hamza.
Yes, your son is one of the thousands of Nigerian students in Sudan. When last did you communicate with him?
Hello?
Yes, when last did you spoke to your son, Al-Mustafa?
Okay, I spoke to my son just 5 minutes ago.
Okay, 5 minutes ago. Where is he precisely?
He is in the International University of Africa in Khartoum.
And what is the situation? What is the situation?
Yes, as at 8:30, there are about 1,000 students, Nigerian students, in that International University of Africa. Wow. And he was telling me 13 buses left, only 13 buses out of 60, only 13 left Khartoum yesterday for Egypt.
And what is really the problem? Has he told you why only 13 out of the about 40 buses expected to leave Khartoum for Egypt?
Since morning, no Nigerian ambassador or consul or anybody from the Nigerian embassy came in to see the students around the International University of Africa. They were there stranded, nobody, no government representative, no food, no water, nothing.
Wow. But has he told you whether he is in contact with any of the students that have been evacuated so far? That where are they now?
My son is from Gombe. They are 26 in number. They were in a very serious dilemma as at now because Jigawa, the land that Jigawa State has about 162 students. And the governor has already made an arrangement to evacuate Jigawa students from Khartoum to Cairo.
Okay. Then what about your son? Who is actually making arrangement for him and his friends to leave?
Huh? Hello?
Yes, I said who is actually making arrangement for your son and others to now follow suit, that is to start moving towards Egypt?
Not my son, Nigerian students. There are more than 1,000 stranded in International University of Africa, Khartoum. And they were scared because a lot of gunshots around 200, 300 meters away from them, gunshots everywhere, throughout the day.
And the ceasefire will cease tomorrow because they agreed, the warring factions agreed that it is tomorrow, Friday, that the ceasefire will lapse. So what are your fears now? What are your fears, Salisu? Hello, are you with me? Oh, we've lost the call, sadly.
Yeah, I can hear you.
He's back. Yes. Now, I said, what are your fears now about Nigerian students, all of them in Sudan?
Really, it's very, very, very unfortunate. If India, that has population about 1.2 billion Indians in the world, they came and evacuated their students, France, and all other countries. But only Nigerian students are stranded in Khartoum. And really, they are in shock. They don't have money. My son has $150 only with him. And somebody came in now, okay, if you want to go to Cairo, bring $100. So they started collecting money from the students. If you don't have $100 now, you're in trouble again.
Wow. Now, have you heard whether those that have left, whether they have started arriving at Egypt or they are on the way now? And what is their condition?
My son called me now as we spoke at about 8:30. He was telling me those that left yesterday, they went to Cairo through a wrong exit. They were asked to go back to another exit again. This is another problem.
Wow. So they are yet to arrive the first destination up till now.
And they were told this is not the exit. They were permitted to come in. So they have to go to another border. Again, this is the problem. For example, if you come through Libya, then you will be told go back to Kaba, or Megatari. This is what is happening now. No Nigerian student is in Cairo at the moment. They are all around the border.
Wow. And how safe are they? Has your son told you anything, whether they are also having some fears there?
Serious fear, anxiety, and shock.
What about food? What about food, drugs? Because many of them, we learn that they are not feeling fine. What about food, water, and all that? Do they have access to them?
If you have money, you can get food in the university. And they won't allow you to go outside the university at the moment. You must remain in that university.
So if you don't
have money, telling me one Nigerian student, if you don't have money, you are in trouble. Because Khartoum now, you can see a young boy at the age of 16 holding an AK-47. It's everywhere in Khartoum now. So they're in trouble. So they cannot go out to look for food. You must squeeze what you have there. They are there stranded, no bed, nothing. No government representative there. Right. No ambassador. They carry the ambassador, no consul. Even the consul is from my state. I even want to see the father this evening to convince the father, please let me talk to your son. The consul, Nigerian consul there is from Gombe State, for him to help Nigerians to evacuate our children back to Nigeria.
Okay, there are claims that the university where your son and other Nigerian students, University of Africa, that there is a threat that they will be asked to move out of the campus by 6 p.m. Have they lived up to, earlier today? Have they done that, or they are still inside the university?
At the moment, they are still inside. The fear is this: there is a prison around the main prison in Khartoum is around the university. So they were afraid because the students are about more than 1,000. And there are some Nigerians, some people are everywhere. So they are afraid if something happens in the prison, it's a very serious danger. That's what university, they want to tell this. They were telling them they should move out from the campus. But after this time around, they are still in the university at the moment.
Okay, finally, what is your call to Nigerian government in 10 seconds or 20 seconds, please?
It's just to Nigerian government to please help our children, help our students to evacuate Nigerians back to Nigeria. They are in a very serious problem now.
All right. Thank you very much.
They can't even get the ambassador.
All right. Thank you very much, Alaji Salisu Magaji, for joining us. And we hope does that matter. The Federal Ministry of Foreign Affairs, the Diaspora Commission, the presidency are actually hearing the outcry from parents here in Nigeria and their words in Sudan. We hope they will act promptly. And that's a wrap on today's program. Do join us tomorrow for another interesting package. Bye-bye for now. I'm Hamza Idris.